Okay, in this part we are going to discuss Muslim scientists and their contribution. I hope that you might have heard many of these contributions during before doing today. So we'll just go briefly and take over and get a brief glance on each of these contributions. For example, if we are talking about um, if you're talking about Ibn Hatim, he was born in Basra in Iraq, and then he was a great scholar of physics, mathematics, engineering, astronomy, and medicine, and he wrote many books. Especially his specialized field was optics, and he gave theory of nature of light and criticized the theory of light with the Ptolemy and Euclid, who were his contemporaries. So his famous work is actually the theory of light and the laws of reflection, and he also explained the images formed by spherical mirrors. He also talked about sun eclipse. He invented pinhole camera, and with this pinhole camera he actually obtained an image of sun eclipse. He also gave the explanation that how an image is formed at retina in our eye. So moving on to the next contributor is Al-Kindi. He was born in Basra again, and he was a renowned meteorologist. He worked on specific gravity and on tides, but his work was mainly on sound and optics. Plus, he had some interest in musical notes and in music of different frequencies and different note is actually a frequency measurement of frequency, a measure of frequency. He also worked on geometrical optics. Then later on his work was translated into Latin. He was actually a man of diverse nature, and he worked on different fields of science. That's it. Now moving on to Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni was born in Afghanistan, and he has this vast uh, he actually specialized in various subjects. He worked on mathematics, physics, he worked on cosmology, geography, he worked on history, culture, and civilization. He also worked on archaeology and worked on comparative religious study, geology, chemistry, and biology. So he was actually a man of diverse nature. He actually, the major contribution that he gave was he postulated that Earth is actually floating in space, just like a grape floats in water. And he rejected the first time that Earth is not stationary, but it is always revolving in the universe. And, and that's why he's famous in the field of geography. And then he was also famous in explaining Indus Valley civilization, and so he was a great geologist. Moving on to Abdus Salam of Pakistan. He was born in Jung, and he was a great scholar because he was awarded by numerous scholarships. He studied for higher education in UK, then he came back to Pakistan, and then again went to UK for research. Then he was actually a Nobel Prize laureate in physics in 1979 on his work of GUT Guts theory, also known as grand unification theory. And then he also established a research center for theoretical physics at Trieste, Italy, where numerous countries and their scientists work in different areas of science and explore the nature. And then we have A.Q. Khan. A.Q. Khan was born in Bhopal in India, and he actually obtained his master's degree in metallurgy from Holland, and then he worked as a research assistant RA in the same university, then obtained his PhD from University of Louvain, Belgium. His famous work is that he was expert in enrichment, that is uranium enrichment, and he also worked at the enrichment plant in Holland. He was patriotic. Since he was patriotic, he has a love for his country. He returned to Pakistan and to serve his motherland, and he established here this AQ Khan research laboratories. And he was awarded by the government of Pakistan with Hilal-e-Imtiaz. And again, he is our greatest asset because he is our nuclear scientist. That's it for today. Thanks for joining.